Morning tours will open at 8:30. We'll start at 10 o'clock. Over 400 lots of Easton collectibles. 15, 17 and a half, $20, 20. You want to go 20, 20, you want to go 20, you want to go 20? $20, 2 and a half, 22 and a half, $20, 2 and a half, 25, 27 and a half, $30.
Sometimes they kind of come through here, I think, in transit. You know, they come here and just wait for the next person who's supposed to get them.
I didn't want to just keep it to myself.
Yeah, and I think you develop sort of more of a connection, and you appreciate it more.
If they don't have that fortification, then it sort of just withers away.
Well, my husband and I have owned the Quadrant for 15 years. The Quadrant sort of evolved. It kind of became something. Through a combination of what we thought we wanted and what our customers sort of guided us towards. And one of the really nice things about the Quadrant is that people feel very at home here. So they really do help kind of shape it. We laugh sometimes and we say that it's probably just a physical manifestation of our personalities. And so probably we need therapy because it's sometimes a crazy place. You know, we sell books. We sell rare, used, and out-of-print books. We have over 50,000 of them. We have a lot of decorations around, antiques and pictures and things that people sometimes try to buy, but really those are just there for show. We are essentially an antiquarian bookstore. That was how we started, and that's ultimately our mission. Some of the books we have here are quite rare. We have books for thousands of dollars. They're just very old and collectible, and sometimes we have collectors coming and shopping, and sometimes we just have people coming to buy, you know, summer reading. You shouldn't judge a book reader by their cover either. The most unlikely people show up with the most unlikely books. Sometimes they just walk through the door in boxes in someone's arms and they ask if we're buying. Sometimes people will call us because they're moving and they just got the quote for taking their books with them and decided they'd sell them. Sometimes someone passes away and their family will call and say, you know, they've got a collection of books that, you know, they're not interested in, and would we be? When you buy books from somebody who's been collecting for a lifetime, you'll find that there's a particular author or a particular subject that they were interested in, and there'll be a body of work that you end up with. So you'll end up with a dozen or more books on a certain subject, which is nice. As you put those on the shelves, and pretty soon you'll find a customer who says, oh, you know, these are the books I collect. I've been looking for these. So the people who come buy the antiquarian books are just people who just want to be surrounded by them. They want to touch them and hang out in the middle of them for the day and take one home with them, even if they're adding it to a pile of 1,000 they haven't read yet. They just want the books in their house.
Work of art, work of humanity. No one ever saw the entire collection. It was physically impossible for everybody to see it. All the thousands of pieces that I had. I never sold any piece that I only had one of for 35 years.
$30, 30, sir. 32 and a half. 32 and a half in the back, 35. 35, 37 and a half, $40, $40, 42 and a half, 45, 45, 47 and a half, $50, $50, 55.
I loved collecting. You saw half the collection up there. I did love collecting.
But his problem was he used to buy it, pay a lot of money for it, and put it in an apartment in a house down in Easton. What's that? And it was so goddamn full, all you had was an aisle through the apartment.
But I always thought I did it tastefully. Every room was filled. There were times when I still could create just a little bit more space. I I just had to think about it a little bit and look at what I could move to one spot or another spot, or move something up, move something down. There was a refrigerator in this apartment. I unplugged it 13 years ago to turn it into a display cabinet for milk bottles and dairy products. 13 years after that, just a little bit ago, after we moved the collection out of there, plugged it in and it works. The collection took over my entire life. But I wanted to be able to see it go. I know too many collectors, too many people that do something like that. They collect whatever it is they're doing, and probably nothing monumental like what I accomplished, but they don't get to enjoy it. Most of the people up at that auction that bought a lot of my stuff, I know those people, and I know they're going to appreciate what they bought.
You're sitting at 226 Bushkill Street, and this is where we run our business, which is called Noble Art Group, Inc., and we are doing business as Noble Art Pianos, and we're a high-end piano retailer. And the high-ends include probably the best 6 pianos in the world, and they're handcrafted. They take over a year to build, and you get the woods from the finest forests, and you take the time to dry them and manufacture and build with them, and to produce the best sound possible. Everyone that comes to realize that they need a hand-built quality piano already has had a piano in their life. Some that have played and owned pianos in the past, you sort of know what you like. You know, the touch, the sound, it just feels right. When I see someone sitting at a piano and all of a sudden they start playing, their facial muscles relax and their shoulders relax, and they start enjoying the feeling and the whole sense of the sound, it's sort of inevitable. So I look for the same things in myself. When I sit down at the piano, what happens to my body? Do I feel comfortable? Are my shoulders down? Do I like the sound? Do I like the experience? It's like meeting a loved one. You go bumping into people, this 6 billion people world, and all of a sudden you meet someone that's the right person.
Here in Easton, of course, we have a pretty significant section of town that features historic homes. I guess it attracts people that are really sort of creative, that appreciate architecture and character. You know, maybe somebody that doesn't mind a little elbow grease. And then this particular house has more potential. These gorgeous oak pocket doors make the house a little more special than something that's brand new these days. Higher ceilings, plastered walls, leaded glass. I mean, I think that's really what attracts people. You get to learn a little bit about who built the house, maybe some of the history, things that might have happened along the way. It just adds another level of interest to a house.
We did meet somebody who lived here, an older gentleman, maybe in his 80s, who came in about 10 years ago and told us he grew up here. So he was able to show us pictures and fill in some of the gray area, you know, things we didn't know about the building in between, which we really love. You know, we think the buildings have personalities and stories to tell, and it's nice to know, you know, what else went on here. It's about a 160-year-old building that needs a lot of work. And we're just here working on it.
But then we've also had sightings, paranormal sightings. So I think they're happy about what we're doing here. We found out later that Mary was the singer and Jesse was a pianist. And it's really cool at this piano store back in here. And Elizabeth, my wife and partner, she sings. She's an opera singer. So I think they're happy that we're here. It was an exciting experience because we hung one painting downstairs, and Elizabeth said, well, how do you like that? And all of a sudden, the lights blinked. And that happened to 11 out of the 24 hangings we did. But why should we take care of things that have been
I
old?
think it's very important that the history doesn't get lost.
It should go back to the public, not given to some organization that's going to lock it up or disperse it somehow amongst, themselves.
We have teenagers who come in, we have mothers that come in with their children, we have single people that come
Public,
in.
it's all going back to the public. And that's the way it should be.
A lot of time and effort, money has been put into it. We should honor that. I don't think we should throw that away. It's sort of part of the recycling era that we're in the midst of.
Then you have people just really embracing that and passing it to the next person.
A time in history that we no longer see readily in a lot of.
So there's 10,000 stories, and probably more.